Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, testing, testing. Hello, 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 hello. Greetings, earthlings, eldritch creatures, and beings of all sorts. Hi. Hi, how are y'all doing today? How are y'all doing? I hope that you all are having a fantastic day, / night, / time zone, / time does not exist, and that the universe is all that you want it to be, all that you need it to be, and more. But yes, hi, hello, how are y'all doing? How are y'all doing? I'm pretty low on spoons today. I don't have a lot of spoons. I don't have a lot of energy. Today is a pretty bad fatigue day for me. But I'm here. So we'll see what we can do. We'll see what we can chat about and do some ASMR. Maybe we'll read some Children of Dune by Frank Herbert, because I finished reading Dune Messiah. So now I'm on to the next book. So maybe we'll read some of that today if nobody has anything they want to talk about or learn about or anything like that. Because I'm in a big Dune phase at the moment. So yeah, we'll see how long we go for. It will probably be a shorter stream. So you know, it is what it is. Let me turn my ASMR text on there on the screen. Because with every ASMR stream that we do, if you in this stream gift sub, cheer, or tip me on Ko-Fi while the stream is going, you can choose one or two things off the list that is pinned at the top of the chat to redeem. You can choose one or two of those things for me to do. Yeah. I don't have a lot of thoughts in my brain. I took my dog to the vet on Thursday for like his regular checkup, and that was pretty good. He's nice and healthy. He's got good teeth and stuff. A few of them might need to get pulled at some point though. 'Cause he's a small little puppy dog. And apparently it's a pretty common thing for small dogs to have teeth issues a little bit, so probably at some point in the next few years he might need to get like one or two of them yoinked right on out of there. But other than that, they were like, he's very healthy and he's full of wiggles. He's just a little baby puppy. He's just a little Muppet puppet puppy dog. And that's wonderful. So yeah, that's what I did on Thursday. Instead of streaming and doing art, took him to the doctor. Do you get it? Do you get it? Doctor. DOGTOR. Rather than a doctor. Yeah, no, I know. No, I know. I'll see myself out. Goodbye then. Goodbye. So anyways, yeah. Hi, Josh Red VT. Hi. How you doing? Welcome on in. Hope you're having a great time zone. Should we read some Children of Dune? I really don't have many thoughts in my brain. I don't have many thoughts in my brain unless prompted to have thoughts in my brain by all of you. But if you don't have any thoughts in your brain either, that's okay. That's okay. That's understandable. We certainly live in a world. That is very exhausting. Very exhausting to live in. And sometimes your brain just cannot. Sometimes it just cannot. So let's do something that my brain can do right now. Oops, sorry, I bumped the microphone a little bit. And let's read some Children of Dune by Frank Herbert. So this is the third book in the Dune Chronicles. Introduction by Brian Herbert. Frank Herbert had a remarkably inventive and original mind. In his first novel, The Dragon in the Sea, 1956, he came up with the concept of containerized shipping, an idea that the Japanese later commercialized to enormous success. Dune, only his second novel, was published in 1965. A complex revolutionary work, it featured layers of ecology, philosophy, history, religion, and politics beneath the epic tale of the heroic Paul Atreides. By 1968, 5 more of Frank Herbert's novels had been published: Destination Void, The Eyes of Heisenberg, The Green Brain, The Heaven Makers, and The Saratoga Barrier. All the while, the popularity of Dune was growing, particularly among university intellectuals who were impressed by the complex messages interwoven into the great adventure story. The novel became a textbook for many classes. The Whole Earth catalog extolled it as an environmental handbook. As his eldest son, I didn't even know what my father had created. In 1966, I was hitchhiking near Carmel, California, and a young hippie couple gave me a ride in their Volkswagen Beetle. I was sitting in the back of the small car as it puttered along, and we were chatting. I told them that my dad was a newspaperman for the San Francisco Examiner, and that he had written a couple of books. "Oh?" the young man said. "What did he write?" Dune," I said. "Dune?" He was so excited that he pulled the car off to the side of the road. "Your dad is Frank Herbert?" Hesitantly, I replied, "Yeah." "Dune, I love that book. One of my friends at college turned me onto it. Wow, I can't believe it." I was dumbfounded. As I wrote in Dreamer of Dune, my biography of Frank Herbert, my bearded father and I did not get along well in those years. I was a rebellious teenager, and we had one shouting argument after another. The relationship seemed hopeless, but Dad had apparently written something remarkable. Even so, he was not making much money from his writing or from his newspaper job. As a family, we were on the poor side of average, and some of our relatives considered my father something of a black sheep. He was eccentric, they said, and went his own way. How little did they know? How little did I know? I hadn't even read the novel yet. Dune Messiah, Frank Herbert's first sequel to Dune, was published in 1969. In that book, he flipped over what he called the myth of the hero and showed the dark side of Paul Atreides. Some readers didn't understand it. Why would the author do that to his great hero? In interviews, Dad spent years afterward explaining why, and his reasons were sound. He believed that charismatic leaders could be dangerous because they could lead their followers off the edge of a cliff. His alternate way of looking at the universe fascinated many readers anyway, and they couldn't wait to see where he was going with the series. He was developing a core readership. In the early 1970s, Frank Herbert became involved with the environmental movement just as the popularity of the novel Dune was skyrocketing. He spoke on college campuses all over the country. Readers wanted even more sequels, but Dad took his time with the third book, wanting the next novel in the series to be as skillfully written as possible. In conjunction with the first Earth Day, Dad wrote entries for and edited New World or No World, a book about the importance of protecting the environment. He followed that with 2 novels, Soulcatcher and The Godmakers, and then a third, Hellstrom's Hive, which had a movie tie-in. His book, Threshold: The Blue Angels Experience, was also published with a film connection. By 1976, Frank Herbert had completed his long-awaited sequel, which he titled Children of Dune. A 4-part analog serialization of the novel early that year was a resounding success, causing issues to sell out at newsstands. Letters poured in from excited fans who loved the story. For months, David Hartwell, Dad's astute editor at G.P. Putnam's Sons, had been trying to convince company management that they were not printing enough copies, that when Children of Dune was printed soon in hardcover, it was going to be a national bestseller purchased by more than science fiction fans. Like Dune, it would be a genre buster, he said. Dune itself had not made it onto very many bestseller lists since its popularity had been a gradual groundswell. Its sales since publication were impressive, though, and Dune Messiah had sold relatively well. But Dune Messiah hadn't been favorably received by the critics, and consensus held that its sales came on the coattails of Dune. Would Children of Dune be an even bigger critical disappointment than Dune Messiah? There had never been a hardcover science fiction bestseller, so Putnam management proceeded with extreme caution. Suddenly, the analog results provided David Hartwell with the necessary ammunition. Putnam increased the first print run to 75,000 copies, more than any science fiction hardcover printing in history. Publication was scheduled for later in the year after completion of the magazine's serialization. When Children of Dune came out in hardback in 1976, it was an instant bestseller. True to the prediction of David Hartwell and the gut feeling of my father, it became the top-selling hardback in science fiction history up to that time. More than 100,000 copies in a few months. When the novel came out in paperback the following year, Berkeley Books initially printed 750,000 copies. That wasn't half enough, and they went back to press. 6 months after the release of the paperback, Dad said paperback sales were approaching 2 million copies. "It's a runaway bestseller," he told me in a telephone conversation. Dad enjoyed this phrase, and I heard it often in the ensuing years regarding his numerous bestsellers. At the age of 55, Dad went on his first book tour, and it was a big one. 21 cities in 30 days, including an appearance on the Today Show in New York City with fellow science fiction writers Frederick Pohl and Lester Del Rey. The Literary Guild made arrangements to offer all 3 books of the Dune trilogy in a boxed, hardbound set. At the vanguard of an explosive growth of sales in science fiction, Frank Herbert blazed the trail for other writers in the genre. After the phenomenal success of the Dune series, Isaac Asimov, Arthur C. Clarke, Robert A. Heinlein, Ray Bradbury, and other science fiction writers had national hardcover bestsellers. Children of Dune is an exciting, vividly imagined novel. It is Frank Herbert at the top of his craft. So that was the introduction by Brian Herbert. Muad'Dib's teachings have become the playground of scholastics, of the superstitious and the corrupt. He taught a balanced way of life, a philosophy with which a human can meet problems arising from an ever-changing universe. He said humankind is still evolving, in a process which will never end. He said this evolution moves on changing principles, which are known only to eternity. How can corrupted reasoning play with such an essence? Words of the Mentat, Duncan, Idaho. A spot of light appeared on the deep red rug which covered the raw rock of the cave floor. The light glowed without apparent source, having its existence only on the red fabric surface woven of spice fiber. A questing circle about 2 centimeters in diameter, it moved erratically, now elongated, now an oval. Encountering the deep green side of a bed, it leaped upward, folding itself across the bed's surface. Beneath the green covering lay a child with rusty hair, face still round with baby fat, a generous mouth, a figure lacking the lean sparseness of Fremen tradition, but not as water-fat as an off-worlder. As the light passed across closed eyelids, the small figure stirred, the light winked out. Now there was only the sound of even breathing, and faint behind it a reassuring drip, drip, drip of water collecting in a catch basin from the windstill far above the cave. Again, the light appeared in the chamber, slightly larger, a few lumens brighter. This time there was a suggestion of source and movement to it. A hooded figure filled the arched doorway at the chamber's edge, and the light originated there. Once more the light flowed around the chamber, testing, questing. There was a sense of menace in it, a restless dissatisfaction. It avoided the sleeping child, paused on the gridded air inlet at an upper corner, probed a bulge in the green and gold wall hangings which softened the enclosing rock. Presently, the light winked out. The hooded figure moved with a betraying swish of fabric, took up a station at one side of the arched doorway. Anyone aware of the routine here in Sietch Tower would have suspected at once that this must be Stilgar, Naib of the Sietch, guardian of the orphan twins who would one day take up the mantle of their father, Pal Muad'Dib. Stilgar often made night inspections of the twins' quarters, always going first to the chamber where Ganima slept and ending here in the adjoining room, where he could reassure himself that Leto was not threatened. "I'm an old fool," Stilgar thought. He fingered the cold surface of the light projector before restoring it to the loop in his belt sash. The projector irritated him even while he depended upon it. The thing was a subtle instrument of the Imperium, a device to detect the presence of large living bodies. It had shown only the sleeping children in the royal bedchambers. Stilgar knew his thoughts and emotions were like the light. He could not still a restless inner projection. Some greater power controlled that movement. It projected him into this moment where he sensed the accumulated peril. Here lay the magnet for dreams of grandeur throughout the known universe. Here lay temporal riches, secular authority, and that most powerful of all mystic talismans, the divine authenticity of Muad'Dib's religious bequest. In these twins, Leto and his sister Ganima, an awesome power focused. While they lived, Muad'Dib, though dead, lived in them. These were not merely 9-year-old children, they were a natural force, objects of veneration and fear. They were the children of Paul Atreides, who had become Muad'Dib, the Mahdi of all the Fremen. Muad'Dib had ignited an explosion of humanity. Fremen had spread from this planet in a jihad, carrying their fervor across the human universe in a wave of religious government whose scope and ubiquitous authority had left its mark on every planet. Yet these children of Muad'Dib are flesh and blood, Stilgar thought. 2 simple thrusts of my knife would still their hearts. Their water would return to the tribe. His wayward mind fell into turmoil at such a thought, to kill Muad'Dib's children. But the years had made him wise in introspection. Stilgar knew the origin of such a terrible thought. It came from the left hand of the damned, not from the right hand of the blessed. The Ayat and Burhan of life held few mysteries for him. Once he'd been proud to think of himself as Fremen, to think of the desert as a friend, to name his planet Dune in his thoughts and not Arrakis, as it was marked on all of the Imperial star charts. How simple were things when our Messiah was only a dream, he thought. By finding our Mahdi, we loosed upon the universe countless messianic dreams. Every people subjugated by the jihad now dreams of a leader to come. Stilgar glanced into the darkened bedchamber. If my knife liberated all of those people, would they make a Messiah of me? Leto could be heard stirring restlessly in his bed. Stilgar sighed. He had never known the Atreides grandfather whose name this child had taken, but many said the moral strength of Muad'Dib had come from that source. Would that terrifying quality of rightness skip a generation now? Stilgar found himself unable to answer this question. He thought, Sietch Tower is mine. I rule here. I am a Naib of the Fremen. Without me there would have been no Muad'Dib. These twins, now, through Chani, their mother and my kinswoman, my blood flows in their veins. I am there with Muad'Dib and Chani and all the others. What have we done to our universe? Stilgar could not explain why such thoughts came to him in the night, and why they made him feel so guilty. He crouched within his hooded robe. Reality was not at all like the dream. The friendly desert, which once had spread from pole to pole, was reduced to half its former size. The mythic paradise of spreading greenery filled him with dismay. It was not like the dream. And as his planet changed, he knew he had changed. He had become a far more subtle person than the one-time siege chieftain. He was aware now of many things, of statecraft and profound consequences in the smallest decisions. Yet he felt this knowledge and the subtlety as a thin veneer covering an iron core of simpler, more deterministic awareness. And that older core called out to him, pleaded with him for a return to cleaner values. The morning sounds of the siege began intruding upon his thoughts. People were beginning to move about in the cavern. He felt a breeze against his cheeks. People were going out through the door seals into the pre-dawn darkness. The breeze spoke of carelessness as it spoke of the time. Warren dwellers no longer maintained the tight water discipline of the old days. Why should they, when rain had been recorded on this planet, when clouds were seen, when 8 Fremen had been inundated and killed by a flash flood in a VOD? Until that event, the word drowned had not existed in the language of Dune. But this was no longer Dune. This was Arrakis, and it was the morning of an eventful day. He thought, Jessica, mother of Muad'Dib and grandmother of these royal twins, returns to our planet today. Why does she end her self-imposed exile at this time? Why does she leave the softness and security of Caladan for the dangers of Arrakis? And there were other worries. Would she sense Stilgar's doubts? She was a Bene Gesserit witch, graduate of the Sisterhood's deepest training, and a reverend mother in her own right. Such females were acute, and they were dangerous. Would she order him to fall upon his own knife as the Uma protector of Liet Kynes had been ordered? Would I obey her? He wondered. He could not answer that question, but now he thought about Liet Kynes, the planetologist who had first dreamed of transforming the planet-wide desert of Dune into the human-supportive green planet which it was becoming. Liet Kynes had been Chani's father. Without him there would have been no dream, no Chani, no royal twins. The workings of this fragile chain dismayed Stilgar. How have we met in this place, he asked himself. How have we combined? For what purpose? Is it my duty to end it all, to shatter that great combination? Stilgar admitted the terrible urging within him now. He could make that choice, denying love and family, to do what a Naib was new on occasion, make a deadly decision for the good of the tribe. By one view, such a murder represented ultimate betrayal and atrocity. To kill mere children. Yet they were not mere children. They had eaten melange, had shared in the siege orgy, had probed the desert for sand trout, and played the other games of Fremen children. And they sat in the royal council. Children of such tender years, yet wise enough to sit in the council. They might be children in flesh, but they were ancient in experience, born with a totality of genetic memory, a terrifying awareness which set their Aunt Elia and themselves apart from all other living humans. Many times and many nights had Stilgar found his mind circling this difference, shared by the twins and their aunt. Many times had he been awakened from sleep by these torments, coming here to the twins' bedchambers with his dreams unfinished. Now his doubts came to focus. Failure to make a decision was in itself a decision. He knew this. These twins and their aunt had awakened in the womb, knowing there all of the memories passed on to them by their ancestors. Spice addiction had done this. Spice addiction of the mothers, the Lady Jessica and Chani. The Lady Jessica had borne a son, Muad'Dib, before her addiction. Elia had come after the addiction. That was clear in retrospect. The countless generations of selective breeding directed by the Bene Gesserits had achieved Muad'Dib, but nowhere in the Sisterhood's plans had they allowed for melange. Oh, they knew about this possibility, but they feared it, and called it abomination. That was the most dismaying fact. Abomination. They must possess reasons for such a judgment, and if they said Elia was an abomination, then that must apply equally to the twins, because Chani too had been addicted, her body saturated with spice, and her genes had somehow complemented those of Muad'Dib. Stilgar's thoughts moved in ferment. There could be no doubt these twins went beyond their father, but in which direction? The boy spoke of an ability to be his father, and had proved it. Even as an infant, Leto had revealed memories which only Muad'Dib should have known. Were there other ancestors waiting in that vast spectrum of memories? Ancestors whose beliefs and habits created unspeakable dangers for living humans? Abominations, the holy witches of the Bene Gesserit said. Yet, the sisterhood coveted the genophase of these children. The witches wanted sperm and ovum without the disturbing flesh which carried them. Was that why the Lady Jessica returned at this time? She had broken with the sisterhood to support her ducal mate, but rumor said she had returned to the Bene Gesserit ways. I could end all of these dreams, Stilgar thought. How simple it would be. And yet again he wondered at himself that he could contemplate such a choice. Were Muad'Dib's twins responsible for the reality which obliterated the dreams of others? No. They were merely the lens through which light poured to reveal new shapes in the universe. In torment, his mind reverted to primary Fremen beliefs, and he thought, God's command comes, so seek not to hasten it. God's it is to show the way, and some do swear from it. It was the religion of Muad'Dib which upset Stilgar most. Why did they make a god of Muad'Dib? Why deify a man known to be flesh? Muad'Dib's golden elixir of life had created a bureaucratic monster which sat astride human affairs. Government and religion united, and breaking a law became sin. A smell of blasphemy arose like smoke around any questioning of governmental edicts. The guilt of rebellion invoked hellfire and self-righteous judgments. Yet, it was men who created these governmental edicts. Stilgar shook his head sadly, not seeing the attendants who had moved into the royal antechamber for their morning duties. He fingered the crysknife at his waist, thinking of the past it symbolized, thinking that more than once he had sympathized with rebels whose abortive uprisings had been crushed by his own orders. Confusion washed through his mind, and he wished he knew how to obliterate it, returning to the simplicities represented by the knife. But the universe would not turn backward. It was a great engine projected upon the gray void of non-existence. His knife, if it brought the death of the twins, would only reverberate against that void, weaving new complexities to echo through human history, creating new surges of chaos, inviting humankind to attempt other forms of order and disorder. Stilgar sighed, growing aware of the movements around him. Yes, these attendants represented a kind of order which was bound around Muad'Dib's twins. They moved from one moment to the next, meeting whatever necessities occurred there. Best to emulate them, Stilgar told himself. Best to meet what comes when it comes. I am an attendant yet, he told himself, and my master is God the merciful, the compassionate. And he quoted to himself, Surely we have put on their necks fetters up to the chin so their heads are raised, and we have put before them a barrier, and behind them a barrier, and we have covered them so they do not see. Thus was it written in the old Fremen religion. Stilgar nodded to himself. To see, to anticipate the next moment as Muad'Dib had done with his awesome visions of the future, added a counterforce to human affairs. It created new places for decisions. To be unfettered, yes, that might well indicate a whim of God, another complexity beyond ordinary human reach. Stilgar removed his hand from the knife. His fingers tingled with remembrance of it, but the blade which once had glistened in a sandworm's gaping mouth remained in its sheath. Stilgar knew he would not draw this blade now to kill the twins. He had reached a decision. Better to retain that one old virtue which he still cherished, loyalty. Better the complexities one thought he knew than the complexities which defied understanding. Better the now than the future of a dream. The bitter taste in his mouth told Stilgar how empty and revolting some dreams could be. No, no more dreams. So that was the first chapter of Children of Dune by Frank Herbert. Hi, Jessa Dragonfly. Hi, how you doing? How you doing? Welcome on in. I hope you're having a great time zone. Thank you for the meows, Josh Red VT. Meows for you. Meows for you. Let's see. Let's say. How long is this book? About 600 pages. Oh my. Oh my. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. About 600 pages. Doing okay? Just chilling on a quiet Saturday? Well, I hope you have a nice chill time. Thank you for the hydrate as well. Thank you. Let me see. I don't know if I have much to talk about. I feel like I don't ever have anything to talk about. Unless I do. And then I do. But most of the time I don't. So I don't really know what to do with that. Most of the time. In terms of any, like, just chatting stuff. Like, I don't know. Well, I don't know. I don't know how conversation works. I don't know how that works. Well, I don't know. What to speak about. What to have thoughts about. What to think about. Certainly a skill for sure. But not one that I am adept at whatsoever. I know not how to converse. I've been watching a lot of PBS though lately. At night to sleep because I have a lot of sleep problems. But so I've had that up lately and that's been quite nice. I didn't know for a really long time that PBS even had like on their website, like their live TV. I didn't know, but now I do. So I've been watching a lot of PBS. And they have a whole channel that's like cooking and like DIY and like stuff like that, which has been quite nice. They also have a whole channel that is documentaries, which I would like to watch at night, but what ends up happening is it's a lot of like news, like they just have like all their news on there as well. And I don't want that. Actually. I don't want to sleep to that. I want like nature documentaries and stuff, you know? I want like art documentaries. I don't want the news. I don't want the news for hours and hours to try and sleep to. I want just show me the documentaries. Show me the documentaries, please. Please. So that's been a little disappointing. But they had a documentary one night that was about it had David Attenborough in it. And it was about ichthyosaur fossils, which I never really had a dinosaur phase as a child. I had a dragon phase. Huge dragon phase, but I did not ever really have a dinosaur phase, so I don't actually know that much. I don't know that much about dinosaurs at all, or marine reptiles. So maybe we could learn about some of that today. I don't know. Does that sound interesting? Does that sound fun? We could learn about some marine reptiles and dinosaurs and stuff. Let's see. Let's start with the Wikipedia page for ichthyosaurs. Sounds fun to me. Okay, wonderful. 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 So, Ichthyosauria is an order of large extinct marine reptiles, sometimes referred to as ichthyosaurs, although the term is also used for wider clades in which the order resides. Thrived during the Mesozoic era. Based on fossil evidence, they first appeared around 250 million years ago, and at least one species survived until about 90 million years ago into the late Cretaceous. During the early Triassic epoch, ichthyosaurs and other ichthyosauromorphs evolved from a group of unidentified land reptiles that returned to the sea, in a development similar to how the mammalian land-dwelling ancestors of modern-day dolphins and whales returned to the sea millions of years later, which they gradually came to resemble in a case of convergent evolution. Ichthyosaurians were particularly abundant in the late Triassic and early Jurassic periods, until they were replaced as the top aquatic predators by another marine reptilian group, the Plesiosauria, in the late Jurassic and early Cretacic. I like plesiosaurs. I do like plesiosaurs. I like the way they look. I like that they got long necks. I feel like if I was a dinosaur or a marine reptile, that perhaps I would be a plesiosaur. Or I would be like a flying dinosaur. Or I would be like a little like velociraptor. I don't know. I don't really know dinosaurs at all, as I said. But I feel like off the top of my head, those would kind of be ones where I'd be like, yeah, I could see myself as one of those. Ichthyosaurian diversity declined due to environmental volatility caused by climatic upheavals in the early late Cretaceous, becoming extinct around the Cenomanian-Turonian boundary approximately 90 million years ago. I'm getting so many tabs from this. I'm getting so many tabs to look at from this. Sea life is weird and cool. It is indeed. It is very weird and very cool. Scientists became aware of the existence of ichthyosaurians during the early 19th century, when the first complete skeletons were found in England. In 1834, the order Ichthyosauria was named. Later that century, many finely preserved ichthyosaurian fossils were discovered in Germany, including soft tissue remains. Species varied from 1 to 26 meters in length, and that's 3 to 85 feet. Resembled both modern fish and dolphins. Their limbs had been fully transformed into flippers, which sometimes contained a very large number of digits and phalanges. At least some species possessed a dorsal fin. Their heads were pointed, and the jaws often were equipped with conical teeth to catch smaller prey. Some species had larger bladed teeth to attack large animals. The eyes were very large for deep diving. The neck was short, and later species had a rather stiff trunk. They also had a more vertical tail fin. Vertebral column was made of simplified disc-like vertebrae, were air-breathing, warm-blooded, and bore live young. Many, if not all, species had a layer of blubber for insulation. Wow. Like other ancient marine reptiles, such as those in the clades of Mosasauria and Plesiosauria, and the genera in Ichthyosauria are not part of the clade Dinosauria. So that's dinosaurs. Fascinating. 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 So let me get a picture of... What? Jellyfish Nexus 3s. Thank you so much for that follow. Thank you. I appreciate it. Just so you are aware, there is a 10-minute waiting period before new followers can join the chat. That is just to keep myself, everybody else in chat, and you as well eventually as safe as possible. So I thank you so much for your patience and your understanding. Let's see. Let me get a picture. Let's see. Alright, so this is, I guess, a life restoration of Ophthalmosaurus, which is a genus of ichthyosaur. So they do look kind of like dolphins a little bit, but with a longer snout, I guess. They do kind of look a little bit like a weird dolphin fish hybrid, but with sharp teeth. Sharp teeth. Do dolphins have sharp teeth? I actually don't know. Dolphin teeth. Alright, so this is from the Whale and Dolphin Conservation USA. How many teeth do dolphins have? Most dolphins have equal-sized, conical-shaped teeth in both upper and lower jaws. Porpoises' teeth are spade-shaped, perfect for grasping fish and squid. Like most mammals, newborn dolphin teeth are still embedded in the gums. Their teeth will start erupting in the first 5 weeks of life. Although all dolphins are equipped with teeth, not all species use their teeth for eating prey or tearing flesh. Most use their teeth to grab, grip, and secure prey and then swallow it whole headfirst. Interesting. So that was the ichthyosaur. So then a plesiosaur are an order or clade of extinct Mesozoic marine reptiles. First appeared in the late Triassic period, about 203 million years ago. They became especially common during the Jurassic period, thriving until their disappearance due to the Cretaceous-Paleogene extinction event. Also known as the KT extinction, was the mass extinction of 3/4 of the plant and animal species on Earth approximately 66 million years ago. The event caused the extinction of all non-avian dinosaurs. Most other tetrapods weighing more than 55 pounds also became extinct, with the exception of some ectothermic species such as sea turtles and crocodilians. It marked the end of the Cretaceous period and with it the Mesozoic era, while heralding the beginning of the current era, the Cenozoic. In the geologic record, the KPG event is marked by a thin layer of sediment called the KPG boundary, Fatkito boundary, or KT boundary, which can be found throughout the world in marine and terrestrial rocks. The boundary shows unusually high levels of the metal iridium, which is more common in asteroids than in Earth's crust. Generally thought caused by the impact of a massive asteroid. $66 million years ago, causing the Chicxulub crater, which devastated the global environment mainly through a lingering impact winter, which halted photosynthesis in plants and plankton. and that crater is in the Gulf of Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula. And in October 2019, researchers asserted that the event rapidly acidified the oceans and produced long-lasting effects on the climate. Other contributing factors to the extinction may have been Deccan traps and other volcanic eruptions, climate change, and sea level change. However, in January 2020, scientists reported that climate modeling of the extinction event favored the asteroid impact and not volcanism. The extinction provided evolutionary opportunities in its wake. Many groups underwent remarkable adaptive radiation, sudden and prolific diversion into new forms and species within the disrupted and emptied ecological niches. Mammals in particular diversified in the Paleogene, evolving new forms such as horses, whales, bats, and primates. The surviving group of dinosaurs were avians, a few species of ground and waterfowl, which radiated into all modern species of birds. Among other groups, teleost fish and perhaps lizards also radiated. Fascinating. What is an impact winter? It is a hypothesized period of prolonged cold weather due to the impact of a large asteroid or comet on the Earth's surface. If an asteroid were to strike land on a shallow body of water, it would eject an enormous amount of dust, ash, and other material into the atmosphere, blocking the radiation from the sun. This would cause the global temperature to decrease drastically. Oh, is this the Ice Age? When does the Ice Age come in? When was the Ice Age? There have been at least 5 major ice ages in Earth's history: the Huronian, Cryogenian, Andean-Saharan, Late Paleozoic, and the latest Quaternary Ice Age. Was there an ice age after the asteroid that killed the dinosaurs? Let's see. I don't know. I don't know. That's what it sounded like to me, but I am not an expert. I didn't know that there was more than one ice age, actually. That's interesting. I feel like the only one that I'm aware of is the one where there were mammoths. I feel like that's the only one I've ever learned anything about. What ice age was that in? $20,000 years ago. Alright, so we do have an ad coming up in just a minute or so. Once an hour, every hour, we take a 3-minute ad break to keep the pre-rolls off for everybody just coming into the stream. And the ads do help support me monetarily just a little bit as well. In that time, if I'm aware that there's an ad running, I do my best to stop whatever it is that I'm doing, whether that is yapping or playing a video game, and switching us on over to the BRB screen. And in that time, I encourage all of you to do whatever you have to do to take care of yourselves out here in this big old universe. Whether that's getting up and doing a stretch, getting something to eat, getting something to drink, going to the bathroom, etc., etc., etc. So I'm going to switch us on over now, and we will be right back in just a few minutes. Alright, we should all be back from the ad now. Welcome on back, welcome on back. So let's see. We were learning about ice ages and also dinosaurs, but we got a little sidetracked from the dinosaurs and marine reptiles. So here is an article from space.com published in 2022. How many ice ages has the Earth had, and could humans live through one? And so, Earth has had at least 5 major ice ages. The first one happened about 2 billion years ago and lasted about 300 million years. The most recent one started about 2.6 million years ago, and in fact, we are still technically in it. So why isn't the Earth covered in ice right now? It's because we are in a period known as an interglacial. In an ice age, temperatures will fluctuate between colder and warmer levels. Ice sheets and glaciers melt during warmer phases, which are called interglacials, and expand during colder phases, which are called glacials. We are in the most recent Ice Age's warm interglacial period, which began about 11,000 years ago. Interesting. Is there an opposite of an ice age? Turan Arena, thank you so much for the follow. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. Just so you are aware, there's a 10-minute waiting period before new followers can join the chat. This is just to keep myself, everybody else in chat, and you as well eventually as safe as possible. So I thank you so much for your patience and your understanding. Fascinating. Okay. Well, let's go back to, I guess, marine reptiles then. I don't know if I have any other questions about ice ages. At least not off the top of my head. This is kind of overwhelming. There's a lot. There's a lot to learn. There's a lot to learn about, like, dinosaurs and stuff like that. I'm a little overwhelmed, because I've already, just from the one Wikipedia page on ichthyosaurs, I have like 10 plus tabs that I've opened up of different key terms. Interesting. Maybe let's see if we can find a good resource on that will give us like a broad overview of dinosaurs. Broad overview of dinosaurs. Let's see if we can find something. Okay, so this is from the American Museum of Natural History. Types of dinosaurs. Estimates vary, but in terms of extinct non-avian dinosaurs, about 300 valid genera and roughly 700 valid species have been discovered and named. However, given that the fossil record is incomplete in the sense that scientists have yet to discover fossils of other kinds of dinosaurs that no doubt existed, these numbers do not reflect the true diversity of extinct dinosaurs. One reason for the incompleteness of the fossil record is that rocks for some geologic time periods are not commonly found on the surface of the Earth. For example, many more kinds of late Cretaceous dinosaurs are known than Middle Jurassic dinosaurs because outcrops of late Cretaceous are more numerous and more widely spread geographically than those of Middle Jurassic age. What is a dinosaur? Dinosaurs are prehistoric reptiles that have lived on Earth from about 245 million years ago to the present. Modern birds are one kind of dinosaur because they share a common ancestor with non-avian dinosaurs. Non-avian dinosaurs, all dinosaurs besides birds, which are now extinct, varied greatly in shape and size. Some weighed as much as 80 tons and were more than 120 feet long. Others were the size of a chicken and weighed as little as 8 pounds. All non-avian dinosaurs lived on land. Some may have gone into the swamps and lakes for food, but they did not live entirely in water. Meat eaters walked on 2 legs and hunted alone or in groups. Plant eaters walked on either 2 or 4 legs and grazed on plants. The feature that distinguishes dinosaurs from other reptiles is a hole in the hip socket, which allowed dinosaurs to walk upright. Pterosaurs, or flying reptiles, and plesiosaurs, ocean-dwelling reptiles, did not have this feature and were not dinosaurs. Ah, interesting. So what makes a dinosaur is a hole in the hip socket. Interesting. Fascinating. Hi, Echoes. Hi. Hi, welcome on in. Welcome on in. How you doing? How you doing? I hope you're having a great time zone. Alright. So then they have selected dinosaur species. The selection of dinosaurs has been arranged by the geologic time period in which each animal lived. Triassic, 251 to 201 million years ago. Coelophysis was a light, agile, 8 to 10 foot long dinosaur. And then the Jurassic, 201 to 145 million years ago. The Plateosaurus engelhardti, although not nearly as large as its Leviathan later relatives, such as Apatosaurus and Barosaurus, Plateosaurus, with a body measuring about 25 feet long, was quite large for an early member of the dinosaurian lineage. Allosaurus fragilis, an intimidating carnivore. Allosaurus reigned as one of the late Jurassic's top predators. Apatosaurus excelsus, Apatosaurus, which means deceptive lizard, is now the valid scientific name for the same dinosaur that used to be called Brontosaurus, a much more appealing and descriptively appropriate name meaning thunder lizard. Barosaurus lentus. Barosaurus was an extremely long-necked, plant-eating member of the group of dinosaurs called sauropods, which usually stood on their 4 sturdy, column-shaped legs. Diplodocus longus. The slender neck and whip-like tail are extremely long, and the skull is slender and low, almost streamlined, even though the snout is broad and blunt. Stegosaurus stenops, long recognized as one of the most bizarre animals of all time. Stegosaurus more than earns the reputation with its dazzling assortment of dense bony plates and spikes arranged along its backbone. Those were all from the Jurassic? Yeah, from the Jurassic. Next is the Cretaceous, 145 to 66 million years ago. So, okay. So I could be getting numbers mixed up in my brain. But so my understanding is that the Triassic is the oldest, 251 to 201 million years ago. Then Jurassic is 201 to 145 million years ago. And now we're looking at species in the Cretaceous, which is 145 to 66 million years ago. So out of those three, the Cretaceous would be the most recent? Question mark? Question mark? Oh, they have a lot of dinosaurs in the Cretaceous period. And then after the Cretaceous is the Cenozoic, 66 million years ago to present day. Ah, okay. All right, well, let's look at some of the ones in the Cretaceous. They have so many in here. There's a duck-billed dinosaur. More sauropods. Triceratops. Theropod dinosaurs. Interesting. Velociraptor. Iguanodon. Tyrannosaurus Rex. Interesting. Okay. So I feel like a lot of the the most well-known ones are from the Cretaceous period. What was the children's show that had dinosaurs in it? Was it Land of Time? Is that what I'm thinking of? Land Before Time? The Land Before Time. I think that's what I'm thinking of. I feel like there's that, and there was also say like a documentary. I don't, let me see if I can find the documentary. Early 2000s dinosaur documentary. Like, it had a very particular style to it. Or maybe it wasn't a documentary. I don't know. Am I thinking of Dinosaur the movie from Disney? No, I don't think so. I don't know what I'm thinking of. But it had a very particular, like, CGI kind of style to it. But I think it was a documentary. But I don't know. I'm not seeing anything that stands out to me. In terms of remembering that. I do vaguely remember The Land Before Time, though. Watching that growing up. I used to, you know the stick pretzels? The pretzels that are not all curled up, but they're the sticks? I would put those, like, on my hand and then, like, eat them. You know, like that, you know? I feel like that was a common childhood occurrence, pretending pretzels are sticks. And then you just, you mlem them up to eat them? No? Jason123, there are a lot of numbers in your username. A lot of numbers in there, but thank you so much for that follow. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Just so you are aware, there's a 10-minute waiting period before new followers can join the chat. This is just to keep myself, everybody else in chat, and you as well eventually as safe as possible. So thank you so much for your patience and your understanding. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, so here's one from the Natural History Museum. I believe this is the UK Natural History Museum? The Natural History Museum, London. Okay. Okay. What are dinosaurs? Group of reptiles dominated the land for over 140 million years. They evolved diverse shapes and sizes, from the fearsome giant Spinosaurus to the chicken-sized Microraptor, and were able to survive in a variety of ecosystems. I just like using them as a peanut butter delivery system. Oh, pretzels? Yeah, that's pretty good. Pretzels and peanut butter are quite good. I used to like, is it Ants on a Log? Where it's pretzels, peanut butter, and then raisins on top? Or maybe that was on celery. Or both? Either way, Ants on a Log. I liked that. I ate a lot of peanut butter growing up. Because I'm a very picky eater. So peanut butter was like my primary food that I ate. So now I can't really eat peanut butter without feeling sick. Because I ate too much of it. I ate too much of it for too long. So now I don't ever really eat peanut butter anymore. Because it makes me feel like I'm gonna hurl. One of the reasons for dinosaur success is that they had straight back legs perpendicular to their bodies. This allowed them to use less energy to move than other reptiles that had a sprawling stance like today's lizards and crocodiles. With their legs positioned under their bodies rather than sticking out to the side, dinosaurs' weight was also better supported. Dinosaurs had an upright stance, while lizards and crocodiles have a sprawling stance. Dinosaurs are archosaurs, a larger group of reptiles that first appeared about 251 million years ago near the start of the Triassic period. Some other non-dinosaur reptiles are also archosaurs, including pterosaurs, the now extinct flying reptiles, and modern crocodiles and their ancestors. These and many other types of ancient reptiles are often wrongly called dinosaurs. Marine reptiles such as ichthyosaurs, plesiosaurs, and mosasaurs are not dinosaurs, nor is Dimetrodon or other reptiles in the same group, previously called mammal-like reptiles and now called synapsids. None of these other extinct groups share the characteristic upright stance of dinosaurs. Main characteristics dinosaurs share. They had an upright stance with legs perpendicular to their body. This is the main feature that set them apart from other reptiles. Like other reptiles, they laid eggs. With the exception of some birds, for example penguins, dinosaurs lived on land, not in the sea. Their skull had a hole between the eye socket and nostril. This feature is shared by all archosaurs. Dinosaurs also had 2 holes behind the eye socket. Large, strong jaw muscles went through the holes to attach directly to the top of the skull. As a result, the jaws were able to open wide and clamp down with more force. No peanut butter? Yeah. No peanut butter really anymore. No peanut butter really anymore. I ate too much of it. Never a raw celery fan. That's fair. Celery is just kind of like crunchy water a little bit. It's kind of like crunchy water, which is interesting. It's peculiar. Interesting. Test how well you know dinosaurs. Dinosaurs may be famous prehistoric animals, but they're not the only ones. Can you tell which of these animals are dinosaurs and which are not? Should we take this quiz? Can you see this? Oh, it just says accept cookies. Oh. Well, never mind then. I was gonna show you the quiz, but I don't know how to. If it's gonna cover it up in OBS. Dino quiz, yeah. Yeah, it's a dino quiz. Let's see. I guess. Could do this. Okay. Let me crop it a little bit. Okay. And then the right, we'll crop that maybe more. Ooh, too much cropping. Too much. And then let's see. Like that. Okay. Let me make this larger so you can see. Alright, let's take a quiz. Chat. I'm going to rely on all of you though, because I don't know really anything about dinosaurs. So this is going to test us on our dinosaur knowledge. Are you ready to be tested? Is Brachiosaurus a dinosaur? Is Brachiosaurus a dinosaur? So remember what we learned. The distinguishing feature of dinosaurs is their ability to stand upright. It's that their legs are upright rather than sprawled out. So you know how crocodiles sploot? You know how crocodiles sploot? That's the sprawled. That's sprawled. But dinosaurs don't do that. They don't sprawl like that. Their legs don't sprawl like that. They got holes in their hip sockets that make it so they can stand upright, I guess. So I'm looking at this Brachiosaurus, and I'm thinking that, yes, mayhaps it is a dinosaur. I'm thinking that, yes, mayhaps a Brachiosaurus is a dinosaur. Might be a trick question. I'm pretty sure this was a made-up dinosaur. Oh, is it? Is it? What was the one that had... Am I thinking of the Brontosaur, where we heard about, where it was, there was something with it, but maybe that was just the name change? I don't know. Maybe it is a trick question, though. Maybe we're being tricked. I don't know. Hi, William Clover. Hi. Welcome on in. How you doing? I hope you're having a great time zone. So what are y'all thinking? Yes, dinosaur? No, dinosaur. It was one of those long neck fellows, I think. Maybe. Fake dinosaur. Whoa. A worm? This is not a worm. This is not a worm, Nightbot. This is a Brachiosaurus. And maybe a dinosaur? Mayhaps a dinosaur? Having a great time zone. I hope you are too. Well, I'm glad you're having a great time zone. Let's go with yes. Question 1 seems really early for a trick question. Yeah, I agree. Hi, Hone. Hi. Welcome on in. How you doing? I hope you're having a great time zone. I hope the lurking has been good. Let's go with yes. Correct. It is a dinosaur. Brachiosaurus is one of the tallest known dinosaurs. It stood around 12 to 13 meters tall, with front legs longer than its back legs, which helped it to reach high tree leaves. Wow, you're right. It is a dinosaur. All right, here's the next one. Is Stegosaurus a dinosaur? Again, I'm looking at the legs. And I'm thinking yes. A Stegosaurus is a dinosaur. Yeah, it is a dinosaur. Yes. Okay. We'll go with yes. Correct. Great job, everybody. Great job. Stegosaurus had plates on its back, which may have been used to regulate body temperature and for display. Oh, that's so fascinating. Working at V-Roy, but then I got distracted by Magical Girl anime. Whoa, what Magical Girl anime are you watching? I hope it's good. Ooh, okay, here we go. Is Erythrosuchus a dinosaur? What do you think, chat? Is this a dinosaur? Is this creature a dinosaur? I'm looking at the legs. This looks kind of splooted. These legs look kind of splooted. They look kind of sprawled. They look kind of splooted. I'm not sure. I don't think this is a dinosaur. Side legs, so I'm leaning no. He looks dino to me. It looks like a reptile for sure. But we were learning about what makes a dinosaur a dinosaur. He's got that neck in him. Yeah, yeah. Scrunchy. It's all scrunched up. All scrunched up. We were learning about what makes a dinosaur, and apparently it's that they have a hole in their hip socket that allows their legs to be upright rather than like crocodiles, for example, which are sprawled. Their legs sprawl outwards. IDK, if we'd have 3 yeses in a row. That's a good point. 3 yeses in a row would be kind of a lot. I think this is a no. I don't think this is a dinosaur. I don't think Erythrosuchus is a dinosaur. I don't think so, but let's see. It's not a dinosaur. An early relative of crocodiles and dinosaurs. It had a semi-sprawling stance with legs that stuck out to the side. Dinosaurs walked on straight legs tucked underneath their bodies. Yay, we did it! Great job. Precure, the very first series, is actually very good. Oh, I don't think I've ever heard of that before. But I'm glad you're enjoying it. Is Temnodontosaurus a dinosaur? Ooh, what do you think? Chad? Is this a dinosaur? Or is it a marine reptile? Is it a dinosaur or a marine reptile? I'm gonna guess based off of what I know and what I have learned today is that it is not a dinosaur. That this would be considered a marine reptile. But what do y'all think? Dinosaur? Or no? Mayhaps colloquially a dinosaur. But technically, officially, scientifically, not a dinosaur. My brain says no. I would agree. Based off of what we've learned today, I'm gonna go with no as well. Great job. Belonged to a group called the ichthyosaurs. Fossils show us that ichthyosaurs gave birth to live young, whereas dinosaurs laid eggs. Wow. But ichthyosaurs were considered marine reptiles, right? But reptiles don't give birth to live young. Are ichthyosaurs marine reptiles? To ancient marine reptiles. If ichthyosaurs gave birth to live young, how are they marine reptiles? I didn't think about this. Viviparous? As ichthyosaurs gave birth to fully developed young, there's been much speculation as to how ichthyosaurs behaved. Most ichthyosaurs would give birth to 1 or 2 single babies, although one fossil of an ichthyosaur shows 11 embryos preserved inside the body chamber. It seems that babies were born tail first. Interesting. Interesting. Are there any modern reptiles that are viviparous? I don't know how to pronounce that. Are there any living reptiles that are viviparous? There are some lizards. The viviparous lizard, or common lizard, is a Eurasian lizard. It lives farther north than any other species of non-marine reptile, and is named for the fact that it is viviparous, meaning it gives birth to live young, although they will sometimes lay eggs normally. Male and female are equally likely to contract blood parasites. The lizard is also unique as it is exclusively carnivorous, eating only flies, spiders, and insects. Lives in very cold climates, yet participates in normal thermoregulation instead of thermoconformity. They have the largest range of all terrestrial lizards, which even includes subarctic regions. It is able to survive these harsh climates as individuals will freeze in especially cold seasons and thaw 2 months later. Whoa. 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 Lizards. Lizards. The more you know. The more you know. Alright. Let's see. What's next? The Protoceratops. What do we think? What do we think? Is this a dinosaur or not? I kind of feel like no. I kind of feel like no. I feel like these legs are sprawled. I feel like these legs are sprawled. I think if they were upright, they would be under more. Mayhaps. Mayhaps. What do we think? Is Protoceratops a dinosaur? Yes, no, maybe so. Maybe so is not an option. Maybe so is not an option that they have given us. I'm gonna go with no, I think. I'm gonna take a swing and I'm gonna go with no. I don't think this is a dinosaur. They got that sprawled in them. I'm going no, yeah. Whoa, we were wrong. We were wrong. Protoceratops was a small relative of Triceratops and only the size of a sheep. Oh, a little sheep. Little sheep. Those legs look sprawled to me. Those legs look sprawled to me, but I guess we were wrong. I guess we were wrong. Protoceratops. Interesting. Okay. Well, you know, you can't get them all right. Can't get them all right. You live and you learn. You live and you learn. And now we know that Protoceratops is a dinosaur. Archaeopteryx. Is this a dinosaur? Is this a dinosaur? I'm going to go with no. Because avian. Because burb. But scarier. I guess birds are kind of scary. If you really think about it for too long. I'm gonna guess no. I'm gonna guess no on this one, but let's see. It is a dinosaur. Archaeopteryx is the earliest known bird. All birds are dinosaurs. They belong to the same group as small two-legged dinosaurs such as Velociraptor and Compsognathus. Oh, I don't know how to pronounce that one. Okay, okay. Birds, dinosaurs. That's right. That's right. Birds, dinosaurs. I got everything jumbled up in my brain. I got everything jumbled up in my brain. Birds, dinosaurs. Got it. Okay, okay, okay. Is Pterodactylus a dinosaur? Okay, maybe this is what I was thinking of last time? That this is not a dinosaur? See, now that we've gotten some wrong, I'm going like, ah! Is Pterodactylus a dinosaur? I feel like I have to guess no as well. This has to be a dinosaur? This one has to be a dinosaur? I watched Dinosaur Train as a kid? Okay. Okay, we'll trust your gut, honey. And we'll go with yes. Pterodactylus is a dinosaur. It's not a dinosaur, it's a flying reptile. Pterosaurs had wings made of skin, stretched over a very long fourth finger, unlike the feathery wings of birds. Oh, what the fuck? What the fuck? Yeah, probably colloquially, known as a dinosaur. Probably one of those ones where people look at it and they go dinosaur. Dinosaur, this is a dinosaur. But scientifically is not. It's so Jover for me. No, don't say that. It's not so Jover. Look. What's the next one? We can be so back with this one. We can be so back with Polacanthus. It doesn't need to be so Jover. We can be so back with Polacanthus and guessing if this is a dinosaur or not. Super cool guy. Thank you so much for the follow. Thank you. I appreciate it. Just so you are aware, there's a 10-minute waiting period before new followers can join the chat. This is just to keep myself, everybody else in chat, and you as well eventually as safe as possible. So I thank you so much for your patience and your understanding. Alright, let's see. Is Polacanthus a dinosaur? Now I don't know. Anymore. Oh, now I'm getting like the way that the legs look confused. Is this sprawled or is this upright? This is probably upright, right? If the other one that I thought was sprawled was in fact a dinosaur and was upright, then I think this one probably is upright as well. What do y'all think? Any thoughts? Is Polacanthus a dinosaur? Okay, I think I'm gonna guess yes. The legs aren't jutting out that much. I'm thinking dino. Okay, let's go with dino. Let's send it. Yes, it is a dinosaur. Yes, we got it. It was an armored dinosaur. It had large protective spikes and a shield-like structure covering its hips to protect it from attacks by predators. Wow. Cool. Is Coelophysis a dinosaur? Coelophysis. I feel like this is a yes. I feel like the fact that it's standing on its two back legs is a yes. I feel like, yes, this is a dinosaur. Yes, this is a dinosaur. It's gotta be a dinosaur. It's gotta be a dinosaur, right? It's gotta be. It's just gotta be. One of the earliest dinosaurs, in fact. Whoa. Styracosaurus. Is this a dinosaur? Looks a little bit similar to a, what is this, a Triceratops? That has the thingy like this. This thingy? I don't know what this is called. But these little spikes on the like the vent around their head. I don't know what to call it. The hood maybe, or like the, what would this be called? This growth here. I feel like this is probably a dinosaur. I feel like yes. Styracosaurus is a dinosaur. Had a horn and a spiky neck frill, probably for protection. A neck frill. Okay, that's what it's called. A spiky neck frill. Is Dimetrodon a dinosaur? Okay, here's where I feel like we're splootin' now. I feel like we're splootin', we're sprawling. Surely this is not. Surely this is not a dinosaur. Surely this is not. It looks kind of like an iguana. Is this what iguanas look like? Iguana. Not really. Not really. Iguanas don't really have this, like, I don't know what this would be called, but this part, they don't really have that. They more have, like, a little spikes, but... The legs are jutting, but I swear this is a dino. You think this is a dinosaur? Oh... Okay, I'm gonna trust you. We'll trust your gut. We'll trust your gut, and we'll go with yes, this is a dinosaur. Dimetrodon walked on semi-sprawling legs and lived 40 million years before dinosaurs. It was an early relative of mammals. Oh, how fascinating. How fascinating. That it would be an early relative of mammals and not lizards. Lizards. No, listen, we've all gotten some wrong. You know, I am certainly not an expert on dinosaurs at all, whatsoever. Is Tarbosaurus a dinosaur? This has got to be a dinosaur, because it's got the two legs that it's standing on, and then the little hands. Me walking around at night. I'm gonna guess that yes, this one is a dinosaur. Was a close relative of Tyrannosaurus. Whoa. Alright, last one. Is Mammuthus primigenius a dinosaur? Oh. Whoa. I didn't even consider. Is a mammoth a dinosaur? Is a mammoth a dinosaur? A mammoth can't be a dinosaur, right? A mammoth isn't a dinosaur, right? Right? Surely not. No, okay, they're mammals. Okay, I was like, there's no way a mammoth is a dinosaur. I mean, I could be so wrong, but surely not, but they aren't. They're mammals. Woolly mammoths were mammals that lived between about 600,000 and 4,000 years ago. Dinosaurs were reptiles that first appeared over 230 million years ago. Wow. What a cool little quiz they gave us to see if we knew if stuff was a dinosaur or not. We got some right. We got some stuff right. I feel like we did pretty good. We got some stuff wrong, but we also got a lot of stuff right. I think that's pretty good. Let's see. Does anybody else have anything they want to talk about or learn about or anything like that? You know what? I do actually have something I want to ask about, and it's about cockroaches. Did cockroaches... Okay, so were cockroaches around in the Cretaceous period? Like, did cockroaches survive the asteroid? Did... Let's see. Because I feel like I remember as a child going to a museum and seeing a little tiny exhibit on cockroaches. And they played the La Cucaracha song with it. And that is stuck in my brain. The little cockroach exhibit playing the Cucaracha song where you press the button and it plays the song. And it was in the same area as all the stuff about dinosaurs and the Ice Age. And that's burned into my brain, that little tiny cockroach exhibit. So let's see. Trying to find a reputable source. Hi, super cool guy. Hi. Hi, welcome on in. Welcome on in. How are you doing? How are you doing? I hope you're having a great time zone. Okay, so here's an article from 2017 from Entomology Today, brought to you by the Entomological Society of America. Old but not that old, debunking the myth of ancient cockroaches. Cockroaches are not 300 million years old. They might not even be 200 million years old. In fact, the oldest cockroaches known from the fossil record are only 125 to 140 million years old. Hardly the ancient and immortal beast claimed by some. A review of the oldest cockroach fossils known to science. We debunk in our paper the misconception that cockroaches have been around since the Carboniferous period. Currently, the oldest known cockroach fossils, Baltidermes brunei and Cretaholocomsa monsecana, are from somewhere around the end of the Jurassic and beginning of the Cretaceous, circa 120 to 130 million years ago. So they were around with the dinosaurs. But not prior to that, perhaps. It's already 9 p.m. Well, I hope you're having a great night then. There are ancient cockroach-like fossils from almost 150 million years earlier than the oldest known cockroach fossil, but these are not cockroaches. Not any more than this elegant praying mantis is a cockroach. In fact, this mantis is more closely related to the cockroaches of today than the roachoids from 300 million years ago. The roachoid fossils are more likely part of the group from which both mantises and cockroaches originated. Wait, so mantises and cockroaches are on the same tree or branch? Maybe I'm misunderstanding that though. Probably. Let's see. Others have stated that cockroaches probably cleaned up after dinosaurs, and our study indeed shows that cockroaches and dinosaurs shared the earth together. Okay, that's what I wanted to know. Thank you. Okay, cool. So they were hanging out with the dinosaurs. And then they survived the asteroid. Were there cockroaches in the Ice Age? And have survived climate changes from ice ages to tropical heat. Wow. So this is a cockroach fact sheet from Cotswold District Council, cotswold.gov.uk. Let's see. Although unpleasant in most people's eyes, cockroaches have existed on Earth for longer than the dinosaurs and have survived climate change from ice ages to tropical heat. There are many worldwide species, with at least 3 common UK species. They exist today in outdoor locations in warm countries all over the world and in houses, hospitals, kitchens, factories, and offices in cold countries. The species has survived despite millions being eaten by predators and all attempts by man to exterminate them. Despite outward loathing for cockroaches, it is important to recognize that they are one of the most successful species of insect ever to exist. And they attain this status by being exceedingly difficult to eliminate. Killing a single cockroach is easy, removing an infestation is difficult. It's really a job for a pest control expert who knows the biology and habits of cockroaches and has access to the most up-to-date insecticide formulations. Why cockroaches are so successful in life and so difficult to eliminate. They will eat almost anything, even items that we would think of as hardly edible, and can go for months without consuming any nourishment. Whoa. Generally speaking, they avoid light, so few cockroaches are seen during the day or in well-lit rooms. By insect standards, cockroaches are big and strong and can stand up for themselves in the insect world. An adult cockroach will live for about 6 months, and each female will produce about 50 to 100 eggs. A really important defense against man is the way it lays eggs. They are laid deep in cracks and crevices and contained in what amounts to a small armor-plated capsule, the ootheca. Once laid, the eggs do not hatch for 2 to 12 weeks. Even if the area is sprayed with pesticide and all cockroaches are killed, the eggs inside the capsule will survive until the insecticide spray's effects have worn off. Once hatched, they are independent, and within a few months, the young hatchlings will reproduce and the cockroach infestation will be back. Whoa. 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 I feel like I have a pretty bad phobia of bugs and spiders, but cockroaches are one that I feel like my curiosity overrides that. You know, like I see a cockroach and I'm like, whoa, fascinating. I want to know more. Tell me more. Also the movie WALL-E. That's probably also a factor in it as well. Is the movie WALL-E. I don't know. I think cockroaches are interesting. I think they're fascinating. Bugs is cool. Bugs scare me. Bugs terrify me. Play an important role in ecosystems and are cool. But they terrify me. I would prefer to not be around most bugs, but cockroaches are one where there's just something about them. Where I'm like, okay, yay. Okay, yay. I don't know. I don't know. I wonder, have they brought cockroaches to space and all? Oh. Nadezhda was a cockroach that was sent into space during the Photon M3 biosatellite flight between September 14th and 26, 2007 by Russian scientists. Space cockroach. Space cockroach. What happened? What happened? What happened? Scientists monitoring the mission announced that Nadezhda had successfully produced 33 offspring on Earth. Well, it was reported that Nadezhda's offspring were the first Earthlings to be conceived in microgravity. Japanese rice fish successfully conceived and produced offspring in microgravity as part of the IML-2 experiment aboard STS-65 in 1994. Nadezhda and the rest of the insects were traveling inside a sealed special container, and a video camera was filming the whole process. What was considered unnatural for the newborn cockroaches was that their carapace had darkened in color much earlier in comparison with natural condition cockroaches, who developed that darker tone later in their life cycle. But the rest of the conditions and capacity of the cockroaches remained normal. Later, it was reported that Nadezhda's grandchildren, born to one of the spaceborne insects, had given birth on Earth to normal cockroaches with a life cycle and development similar to that of any other cockroach. Whoa. 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 That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So, rice fish have also conceived and produced offspring in microgravity. Little fish. Little fish. Little fish. Wow. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Interesting. Wow. You learn something new every day. Cool. NASA fed Apollo 11 moon rocks to cockroaches. So this was published in 2019 from space.com. NASA fed some of its precious Apollo 11 lunar samples to cockroaches and dumped it in fish bowls and injected mice with it. Scientists were pretty sure that there weren't any potentially dangerous germs living on the moon, but they couldn't be absolutely sure. We had to prove that we weren't going to contaminate not only human beings, but we weren't going to contaminate fish and birds and animals and plants, and you name it. Charles Berry, who was in charge of medical operations during Apollo, said in a 1999 oral history, "Any of the Earth's biosphere, we had to prove we weren't going to affect it, so we had to develop an amazing program that was carried off really for 3 flights worth. A lot of trouble." The astronauts were shuffled into quarantine for 3 weeks. A collection of mice injected with lunar material and were monitored just as closely as the crew. Scientists ground everything to dust, half of which they baked to sterilize and half of which they left as it was. Mice and quail got the lunar sample as an injection, Insects had the sample mixed into their food, and aquatic animals had the moon dust added to the water they lived in. The German cockroaches that were fed moon dust, true to the insect's reputation, thrived despite the exotic diet, and all the animals did well, with one glaring exception. Whether in lunar water or not, many of the oysters died, which the scientists chalked up to having tested animals during their mating season. Fascinating. Finally, NASA was confident that lunar regolith was harmless. After Apollo 14 in 1971, the agency stopped testing animals and ended the strict quarantine procedures for astronauts returning from the moon. It also stopped quarantining lab technicians working with lunar samples who might have come in contact with the moon rocks. NASA had good reason to eliminate the animal tests, of course. Planetary scientists were unhappy about the amount of material which they viewed as wasted on these experiments and the extent to which quarantine diminished the focus on planetary research. But for a brief few years, cockroaches ate the moon. Whoa. They ate the moon. They fed the moon to cockroaches, and the cockroaches ate the moon. That's pretty cool. Imagine if you're a cockroach that got to eat some of the moon. I feel like that would be pretty cool. I wonder what the moon tastes like. What does lunar regolith taste like? With a distinct gunpowder taste and smell. Whoa. Fascinating. That's my tummy grumbling. I don't know if y'all could hear that, if the mic picked that up. But that was my tummy making sounds, which means that I gotta go eat food. Hi, Myrmidon VT. Hi. I'm just about to wrap up for the day, but hi. I hope you're having a great time zone. I'm trying to whisper. Whisper. But I hope you're having a great time zone. I think I'm going to call it here for today. I gotta go eat food. And I'm pretty low on spoons. I was pretty low on spoons anyway. So a bit of a shorter stream. Recently finished stream, so I'm very tired, just chilling. Well, make sure to relax. Take care of yourself. Make sure that you go eat food if you're hungry and you haven't had anything to eat. Streaming is hard work. So make sure you take care of yourself. Glad to catch a bit of it. Yeah. I'm glad you were able to catch a bit of it as well. Get good grub. Use a spoon to gain spoon's trust. Yeah, exactly. Maybe if I just eat enough food using spoons, then the spoons will flock to me. They'll flock to me and I won't be all out of spoons all the time. Yeah. But thank you all so much for watching and hanging out. If you were lurking, I appreciate you. If you were chatting, I appreciate you. And I will see you all in another universe. Goodbye!